Nathan moved like a ghost through the silent halls of the towering city skyscraper. The moon, a bright pearl in the dark sky, often kept him company through the vast windows. He was in his mid-30s, a loving single dad whose heart still held a quiet ache for his late wife. Each night, as he pushed his cart filled with cleaning supplies, his mind often drifted to his little girl, Lily, sleeping soundly at home. The quiet of the building was a strange contrast to the busy days he spent with Lily. When the offices were empty, Nathan found comfort in a small, worn sketchbook he kept tucked in his cart. During his breaks, he'd pull it out, his pencil dancing across the paper. He wasn't drawing grand buildings or fancy cars. Instead, his pages were filled with thoughtful designs for play spaces, calm corners, and clever toys. These weren't just random doodles. They were inspired by the gentle ways he and his wife had learned to care for their child, finding simple solutions to make the world a bit softer and brighter for her. Each line, each shape was a memory, a hope, a whisper of a past love guiding his present. As dawn painted the sky in soft oranges and pinks, Nathan would finish his last cleaning rounds. He'd rush home, trading his mop for a spatula to make Lily's breakfast. His mornings were a whirlwind of making toast, braiding hair, and reading storybooks, all before dropping Lily off at school. Sleep often felt like a luxury he couldn't afford, grabbed in short naps while Lily was away. But every moment with his daughter was a treasure, her bright laughter chasing away the shadows of his lonely nights. Even during the day, his sketchbook was never far. While Lily played at the park, Nathan would sit on a bench observing children. He'd sketch quiet nooks where a child could find peace from too much noise, or soft play areas designed for different kinds of movement. He thought a lot about kids who might need a little extra care, remembering how his wife had always found gentle ways to make their own child feel safe and understood. He drew walls with different textures, floors with calming patterns, and toys that invited quiet exploration. These weren't just drawings, they were blueprints for a kinder world, born from a father's love and a husband's memory. While Nathan was busy with his daughter or quietly sketching at the park, important events were unfolding high above in the very skyscraper he cleaned. In a grand meeting room, bathed in sunlight, a group of serious-looking people gathered. These were the executives, the big bosses of the company. Today, their talk wasn't about numbers or new deals. They were trying to plan something truly special, a new daycare for the children of their many employees. But this wasn't just any daycare. They wanted it to be a sensory-friendly place, meaning it needed to feel calm and safe for every child, especially those who might get overwhelmed by loud noises or bright lights. They wanted soft spaces, quiet corners, and gentle activities. It was a wonderful idea, but making it real was proving to be very hard. The room buzzed with worried whispers and frustrated sighs as they looked at plans that just didn't seem right. The executives knew what they wanted, but no one could quite draw it for them. They needed a perfect vision, a blueprint for a truly comforting and inclusive space, and time was running out. The architect, Mr. Davies, a man known for designing sleek, modern buildings, stood before the executives. He presented his plans with a confident smile, but the designs on the big screen were all wrong. Bright colors clashed, hard surfaces echoed, and play areas looked more like busy playgrounds than calming havens. He had tried, but his ideas were for a typical daycare, not the special, gentle space the executives wanted. "This just won't do, Mr. Davies," said Ms. Albright, the lead executive, her voice tight with worry. "Where are the quiet zones, the sensory exploration areas? This looks like it would overwhelm half the children we're trying to help." Another executive sighed, tapping his pen impatiently. Mr. Davies stammered, trying to explain how a ball pit was sensory, but his words fell flat. The executives exchanged frustrated glances. They had spent a lot of money on this architect, and he was failing. The dream of a truly inclusive daycare seemed to be slipping away. They needed a fresh perspective, a deeper understanding of what made a child feel truly comfortable and happy, but no one in the room seemed to have it. The disappointing meeting finally ended, the executives leaving the room in hushed, unhappy tones. Hours later, as the city lights began to twinkle, Nathan arrived for his night shift. He pushed his cleaning cart into the empty conference room, a place still thick with the scent of frustration. He began tidying up, wiping down the large table, picking up stray papers. As he worked, a small, dark blue sketchbook slipped from his cart and landed silently on the plush carpet. He didn't notice it immediately. He finished cleaning, feeling tired, and started to leave. But just as he reached the door, Ms. Albright and a few other executives re-entered, looking for some forgotten notes. Ms. Albright spotted the sketchbook first. "What's this?" she asked, picking it up. She flipped it open. Her eyes and those of the other executives landed on Nathan's simple yet detailed drawings. There were sketches of a soft play tunnel, a wall with textured panels, and a quiet corner with beanbags and dim lights. A chuckle started from one executive, then another. "Is this a child's drawing book?" someone snickered. Ms. Albright raised an eyebrow, a small, dismissive smile playing on her lips. They didn't understand that these weren't just drawings. They were solutions. Nathan, hearing the laughter and realizing they held his private sketches, felt his cheeks flush. He quickly stepped forward. "Excuse me, Ms. Albright," he mumbled, reaching out to gently take his sketchbook back. "That's mine." As he did, the book slightly fanned open. The executives, their smiles still lingering, caught a glimpse of a particular page. This wasn't a simple drawing of a swing set. It was a carefully thought-out design for a calm cave. The sketch showed a cozy, partly enclosed space, with soft, dim lighting filtering through a textured screen. There were cushions on the floor, walls covered in different soft fabrics, and even a small, gentle fountain for a quiet, trickling sound. Nathan had drawn it after a particularly challenging day, with Lily imagining a place where she, or any child feeling overwhelmed, could retreat and feel safe. The snickers died down. Ms. Albright's dismissive smile slowly faded. Her eyes, along with those of the other executives, widened slightly. This wasn't a child's scribble. This was a detailed, ingenious solution to the very problem they had been discussing earlier. The quiet corner, with its soft lights and gentle textures, was exactly the kind of sensory-friendly space they had failed to get from their expensive architect. A stunned silence filled the room. The laughter had completely vanished, replaced by a heavy silence that pressed on Nathan's ears. Ms. Albright, the head executive, held the sketchbook carefully now, her eyes fixed on the drawing of the calm cave. The other executives leaned in, their faces showing a mix of wonder and surprise. Their earlier amusement had turned into quiet awe. This is truly remarkable, Ms. Albright finally said, her voice soft, a stark change from her usual firm tone. She looked up at Nathan, her gaze thoughtful. "Where did these ideas come from? This is exactly what we've been looking for but couldn't find." Another executive, a usually gruff man named Mr. Henderson, nodded slowly. "Our architect, with all his fancy degrees, couldn't come up with anything close to this. This calm cave is brilliant." The thought put into the textures, the lighting. It's so practical, so intuitive. They flipped through more pages, seeing other thoughtful designs for play areas that focused on gentle learning and quiet exploration. Nathan's simple, humble sketches were far more insightful and helpful than anything the expensive architect had presented. The room, once filled with frustration, now buzzed with a new kind of energy, the energy of discovery and unexpected hope. "Nathan, please tell us more," Ms. Albright urged, her voice now full of genuine interest. She handed him his sketchbook, treating it with new respect. Nathan, still a little shy but gaining confidence from their kind faces, cleared his throat. "Well, Ms. Albright, these ideas, they come from my daughter, Lily. She's a wonderful girl, but sometimes bright lights or loud noises can be a lot for her." He paused, a soft, faraway look in his eyes. "My late wife, Sarah, was so good at finding ways to make the world a gentler place for Lily. She taught me to see things through Lily's eyes, to think about what would make a space truly welcoming, not just for Lily, but for any child who might need a quiet moment." He gestured to a drawing of a soft, curving wall. "This isn't just a wall, it's a hugging wall, where a child can press against different textures and feel safe. And this," he pointed to a drawing of a small, raised platform, is a discovery den for gentle play away from the main bustle. He explained how every design was about creating a calm space where children could feel understood and happy, learning and playing at their own pace. His voice, though quiet, held a deep passion that moved the executives. News of Nathan's brilliant sketches quickly spread through the executive offices. While most were excited, Mr. Davies, the architect, was not. He felt embarrassed and angry that a cleaner's simple drawings were being praised more than his professional work. He began to whisper to other employees, trying to stir up trouble. "It's simply unprofessional," Mr. Davies grumbled to anyone who would listen. "Allowing a cleaning staff member to design a major project, what about safety codes? What about proper blueprints? He's not even an architect." He made it sound like Nathan was a threat, not a help. Some people, worried about their own jobs or simply uncomfortable with change, started to agree with him. They talked about rules and procedures, saying that Nathan didn't have the right training or title for such a big job. Nathan, who had been feeling a small flicker of hope, soon heard the whispers. His heart sank. He knew nothing about office politics, but he could feel the new opportunity, the chance to make a real difference, being threatened. The idea of his designs coming to life, of creating a beautiful space for children, seemed to be slipping away before it had even truly begun. He was just a cleaner, after all, and Mr. Davies was a well-known architect with powerful friends. Just when Nathan thought his hope was fading, a new voice cut through the whispers. Maria Rodriguez, the HR director, stepped forward. She was a kind woman, also in her 30s, with bright, intelligent eyes and a calm, steady presence. She had heard Mr. Davies' complaints and the worries of other staff, but she had also seen Nathan's sketches. Maria walked straight to Ms. Albright. "Ms. Albright, with all due respect, talent and insight aren't always found in a job title," she said clearly. "Nathan has presented ideas that are not only innovative but deeply empathetic. These designs come from real-life experience and understanding, which Mr. Davies' plans clearly lacked." She turned to face the room, her gaze firm. "Our goal is to create the best possible daycare for our employees' children. Nathan's ideas are a gift, and it would be a mistake to dismiss them because of outdated rules or someone else's bruised ego. We should focus on the quality of the ideas, not just where they come from." Maria's words were strong and fair. She saw Nathan's quiet talent, his deep care, and she made sure everyone else in the room heard it too. Her support felt like a warm light breaking through the clouds for Nathan. With Maria's strong support, the executives agreed to give Nathan a real chance. His cleaning duties were adjusted, making time for him to work on the daycare project. Nathan and Maria began to meet often, at first in formal conference rooms, then in quieter corners of the office as they got more comfortable. They spent hours talking, not just about blueprints and materials, but about what truly made a space feel safe and inspiring for a child. Nathan would open his sketchbook, his fingers tracing lines, explaining the heart behind each drawing. Maria, with her clear thinking and kind questions, helped him put his heartfelt ideas into practical plans. She listened intently, her bright eyes never leaving his face, making him feel truly seen and heard for the first time in a long while. As they worked, a gentle warmth began to bloom between them. It started with shared laughter over a clumsy drawing or a clever solution. Soon, they were talking about their lives outside of work, Lily's latest funny saying, Maria's love for quiet walks in the park. They found that they cared about many of the same things. The shared purpose of building a beautiful daycare was bringing them closer, weaving their lives together in unexpected and lovely ways. Together, Nathan and Maria became a wonderful team, like two parts of a perfect puzzle. Nathan would draw his creative ideas, filling pages with visions of gentle play areas and comforting nooks. He imagined soft swings that cradled children, sensory paths made of different textures, and story clouds hanging from the ceiling for quiet reading. He saw the big picture, the feeling of the space. Maria, with her sharp mind and practical approach, would then help make these dreams real. She knew about budgets, building rules, and finding the right people to bring the designs to life. She asked important questions like, how will we make sure this wall is safe? Or where can we find soft, durable materials? She turned Nathan's heartfelt sketches into proper plans, adding all the important details. Their teamwork was truly special. Nathan brought the heart and the vision, inspired by his love for Lily and his memories of his wife. Maria brought the structure and the way to make it happen. They often stayed late, their voices soft in the quiet office, laughing and planning. They were not just building a daycare, they were building something beautiful together, piece by careful piece. As the daycare began to take shape, brick by brick and paint stroke by paint stroke, so did the bond between Nathan and Maria. Their working hours often stretched into evenings, sometimes even weekends as they visited the construction site, choosing colors, feeling textures, and imagining children playing in the spaces they had designed. During these times, their talks went beyond blueprints. They spoke of their childhoods, their dreams, and the quiet hopes they held for the future. Maria admired Nathan's gentle strength and the deep love he held for his daughter. She saw how his experiences had shaped him into a man of incredible empathy and vision. Nathan, in turn, was drawn to Maria's warmth, her sharp mind, and the way she stood up for what was right. He found himself looking forward to their meetings, not just for the project, but for the comfort of her company. A quiet understanding grew between them, a feeling deeper than just friendship. They discovered shared dreams of building a better world, starting with this special place for children. Their mutual respect blossomed into a tender affection, a silent promise of something new and wonderful blooming in their lives. At last, the grand day arrived. The sensory-friendly daycare was finished. It stood proudly within the skyscraper, no longer just a dream in Nathan's sketchbook, but a beautiful, real place. As Nathan and Maria walked through the completed rooms, a wave of pride washed over them. The space was a marvel of soft colors, gentle greens, calming blues, and warm yellows that seemed to hug you as you entered. The calm cave was a cozy haven, with tiny fairy lights twinkling behind a soft, flowing curtain inviting children to rest. The hugging wall offered different textures to explore, and the Discovery Den was filled with quiet, imaginative toys. Everywhere you looked, there were thoughtful touches, rounded corners, soft rugs, and windows that let in gentle light without harsh glares. It was exactly as Nathan had imagined, only even better because Maria's cleverness had made every detail perfect. The air felt happy and peaceful, ready to welcome tiny hands and curious minds. This wasn't just a building, it was a testament to love, perseverance, and the power of seeing the world through a child's eyes. One sunny afternoon, the daycare doors opened for the first time. Nathan stood at the edge of the Discovery Den, a quiet smile on his face. His heart swelled as he watched Lily, his sweet daughter, playing happily and safely. She explored the hugging wall, her little fingers tracing the soft textures, then giggled as she settled into a beanbag in the calm cave, gazing at the gentle twinkling lights. She was thriving in the very space he had imagined and helped create. Maria walked up beside him, her hand gently finding his. "Look at her, Nathan," she whispered, her eyes shining with warmth. "She loves it." His old, worn sketchbook lay open on a nearby table, showing the very first drawing of the calm cave. It was a quiet reminder of his journey, a symbol of dreams that had once seemed impossible. Nathan looked from Lily to Maria, then back to the sketchbook. His life had changed in ways he never thought possible. From a lonely night cleaner to a visionary designer, he had found his purpose, his voice, and a new love. The skyscraper, once a symbol of his quiet struggles, now held the bright promise of a happy future, filled with the laughter of children and the gentle warmth of Maria's smile.